Happy August of 2024 to my ballistic blood brothers and sisters in arms. I have been so excited for this day to get here. I've been putting a system together, and I've dropped a lot of, I'm not even going to say breadcrumbs, pretty subtle hints about a project that we've been working on. It's going to be known moving forward as the Serbu Firearms BFG-50 Mk II project. And it started because of this project right here. But now, if you like this, you're going to be able to have your own BFG-50 Mk II. It's not just going to be a one-off build anymore. So I think that's really cool. Now what it is it is a 16-inch barreled, single-shot, bolt-action 50 BMG rifle that I am specifically, now this is just me, you can do whatever you want with yours, I'm dedicating it to 50 BMG Subsonic ammo. I'm going to be running a Bowers Verse 50 sound suppressor on it for maximum effectiveness. Now the purpose behind this is to maximize energy on target and still keeping very, very quiet. So as you know, when you are limited to the speed your projectile is moving, in our case around 1050 feet per second, one of the most important things you can do, the most effective things you can do to increase energy on target is the projectile weight. And typically we're somewhat limited with those. My go-to in the past has been a 458 SOCOM that my ballistic blood brother Tony Rumor designed, and it is a terrific piece. But I've been thinking of something for maybe a little bit more distance, maybe a little bit more ballistic coefficient, maybe a little bit more energy on target. And it's going to be pretty difficult to beat the 750 grain AMAX projectile that Detroit Ammunition loads up in a subsonic round already. So what a cool place to start. A super quiet 50 BMG suppressed carbine. What a cool thought. What a neat collection of words to put together. Never mind actually assembling it as a system. But we did. We've got one here. And today is day one of our testing. I think there are a few of you who are going to enjoy this just as much as I do. Check this out. Now, before we get any deeper into this particular system, there seems to be a little bit of confusion, and for real, just a little bit, because most of us are already familiar with this, but a lot of people are not. When we discuss 50 caliber, the first thing that comes to mind, especially with younger people, is this, the Deagle, the 50 caliber Desert Eagle. That's what people think of. Now, yes, this is 50 caliber, but all 50 calibers are not created equal. Let's take a look at the 50 AE round that this fires compared to the 50 BMG round that this one fires. So this is the 50 AE cartridge, and it is a proper round indeed. It has all kinds of energy. It is 50 caliber, and it's heavy, and it's moving fast, but not the same level of 50 that we're talking when we discuss 50 BMG. There's a little bit of difference between the two here. So I just wanted to be crystal clear. This is a 50 BMG platform that we're working with, not the 50 AE like the Desert Eagle utilizes. So let's start from scratch. Let's try to address some of the very first questions that I've received from those of you that I've spoken with about this project. The first question I'm getting, understandably, is what is the difference between the BFG-50 that we all know and the BFG-50 Mk II? The handguard used to be welded to the receiver just forward of the barrel extension. Now it's retained as a separate piece with threaded drawn wire. Think of motorcycle spokes or bicycle spokes. And it is threaded so it allows a nut to be able to draw tension to affix it to the receiver. Because of this, there's also a change to the scope mount, which used to partially be welded to the handguard. Now it's affixed directly to the receiver. Now my Mk II, the one that we're going to be working with together in this video, might look a little bit different than some of the ones you see moving forward. I asked for a very short one, 16-inch barrel. Typically, Mark makes these with a 29-inch barrel. I wanted 16 because my focus is to utilize subsonic ammo along with a Bowers BFG50 suppressor to quiet it down, and that extra barrel length I didn't think was necessary. So mine is a little shorter and more compact than ones you may see. I don't know, maybe there will be interest in these and people will like the shorter variation as well. I certainly do. The typical BFG50 and the Mark IIs moving forward are also going to have Mark's really effective muzzle brake on them. It is a terrific muzzle brake and it cuts the recoil drastically. But for my purposes, the muzzle brake's going to come off and we're going to go with the Bowers Group BFG50 sound suppressor. So you won't see a muzzle brake on mine, but keep in mind that's because I'm utilizing subsonic ammo with this design. If you're not familiar with Bowers Group, these folks are terrific people. Tom and Dorothy Bowers are wonderful salt-of-the-earth people. They've been specializing in bigger bore sound suppressors for a very long time. And when this project came to light, I didn't even think of anybody else's suppressor. It only made sense to go with theirs. Now there are specific 50 BMG suppressors on the market, but it wasn't necessary again for what I'm doing. I'm focusing on subsonic ammo, and those low pressure rounds in comparison to the full strength stuff should be just what the doctor ordered for this BFG50. Of course, if you are going to build something similar and you want to run full power 50 BMG, the BFG50 is not going to be for you. It is, again, a low pressure 50 caliber suppressor, and it's not made for the massive forces that a regular 50 BMG dishes out. While we're discussing energy, the difference between subsonic and supersonic, the ones that are much quieter versus the ones that are much faster and much more powerful, let me get you a couple numbers just so some of this makes sense what we're doing. So you have a fair comparison. The 50 AE in the Desert Eagle is creating somewhere around 1,450 foot-pounds of energy. 1450, 1,450. The 50 BMG is creating somewhere in the area of 13,000 foot-pounds of energy. It is a massive, massive round. Now, to put that into perspective for something that we're a little bit more used to, the 5.56 is creating somewhere, traditional 5.56 ammo, 62 grain, somewhere around 1,300 foot-pounds of energy. And so you can understand why I've been so interested in this subsonic 50 BMG build. Keep that one in mind. 1,300 foot-pounds of energy for your standard, full strength 223 out of your, your AR or whatever it is that we're utilizing. This subsonic, which is going to be really quiet, is going to be making almost 1,900 foot-pounds of energy, and that's at 1,050 feet per second, 1,050 feet per second with a 750 grain projectile. So a lot of people like to think that running subsonic ammo takes all of the energy away, all of the power away, that there's really nothing left. But clearly, we've got 1,836 foot-pounds of energy with this subsonic 50 BMG. And again, it's just math. It's the weight and the speed that determine how many foot-pounds of energy you're putting out. And what's a better platform to get that weight up? 50 BMG. All right, first shot. Oh. This NV400 has a one-shot sighting capacity. So it will let me put a round down range, save the reticle to where my point of aim was, set a second reticle to the point of impact, and then marry the two, and then save up to 6 different profiles. So right now, we're just doing these first live fire test rounds at 30 meters. I can save it as a 30-meter sight-in, and then we can go next door to the rifle range and save another one for 50 meters, 100 meters, 150 meters, so I won't have to guess any of my holdover. Or mess with any Kentucky windage. I can just choose the reticle for the distance that the rangefinder tells me I'm at, and in theory that should put me spot on. So let's see if we can sight it for the first time. First rounds fired with the Serbu BFG-50 Mk II with the Detroit Ammo Company Subsonic 50 BMG 750 grain AMAX ammo. This is awesome. Excellent. I'm going to go take a peek downrange, and then we'll make some adjustments here and fire that second shot. But it looks like it's about a foot low and right, so it should be very easy to see where it's a half-inch hole and I'm only 30 meters away. By the way, I definitely don't need these. That's awesome. Through the settings in the scope, it allowed me to keep my original crosshair at the original point of aim while moving a secondary crosshair to the point of impact and then pressing a button and marrying the two together. So I had one aiming point here, it hit here, I overlaid it, and now it should be, the point of impact should be the same as the point of aim, which is really cool, because when you're shooting expensive stuff, or if you don't have a lot of time, zeroing in just 2 shots is terrific. And I saved it as my first setting, so from this point forward, if this is correct, I will have a 0 at 30 meters, so I'll always know where to be right on at 30 meters moving forward. Let's do a proof shot and see if it worked like it's supposed to. This time, I'm going to aim right at the nose of the target. Before I wanted a more central location because I had no idea where it was going to be. Wow, the elevation is perfect. It looks like I'm about 2 inches to the right. I'll fire another round and see if that was just me or if I've got to recite a little bit. And it's touching the same hole. So if I am doing something, I'm doing it consistently, that's fine. Looks like I've got to bring it about 2 more inches to the right. This is so cool. Okay, I've repeated that process again. I fired 2 rounds. They hit a couple inches to the left of where I wanted them to be. I went through the sight-in process again, the one-shot 0, and saved it. So now I'll fire another proof shot. And if I do what I'm supposed to do, this should hit the bad guy on the target in the nose. Let's find out. And I have to remember to use the electronics. I'm going to try to record this shot so you can share it with me. Okay, looks like we're good. I have it set at 5 power and we're at 30 meters. Let's try to put one on his nose. There we go. Got one on the nose. This is really cool. I had no idea going into this if this scope was going to stand up to the recoil impulse. Although it's stout. You could make someone a pirate if they weren't ready for it, but it's not too much by any means. Not even close. Let me make sure I shut the camera off. Nope. Okay. Video camera's not on anymore. This is so cool, having a rangefinder and a high-def camera all built into one unit. This is going to be a lot of fun. And being able to save profiles at multiple distances or for multiple firearms, I think that's a hell of a bonus too. I'm anxious to see if we can take it over to the rifle range and then I can save a profile for 100 yards and just pop back and forth between the two, with the ability for direct hits without any holdover or anything, just straight on point of aim. So this is what we did for the sighting sequence because the camera won't record while you're making changes to it. My first point of aim was right here, right at the muzzle of the firearm. The first hit was right here. about a foot low and right. So what the scope allows you to do is hold the original crosshair at the original point of aim while moving it along these two axes. So the second one is here. You get both crosshairs at the same time, both reticles at once. So if you put the first one here, the second one's over your bullet hole, then you marry them and save that. What I did after that was I came up here and aimed at the nose. First round hit an inch to the left. I didn't know if that was me doing something wrong, so I shot again. Second round, also an inch to the left. So I went through that same process again. I left the original reticle here, put the secondary reticle there, married them, and then the proof shot was right straight on. So the one-shot sight-in absolutely works with that particular scope. Okay. This is my impact area, and it changes regularly based on what we're doing there. But I want you to see what Mother Nature has done to me in the last few months. This mess used to be my target box. It was a 5 foot by 3 foot target box with all of my supplies and equipment in it. And as you can see, it was just demolished, trees falling on it. There's nothing there but a big mess that I have to go through now. Across from the range, these are some of our individual target stands for doing classes. You know, more wood from the same mess, the same problem. Moving around the range, trees down everywhere, wood all over the place. Got 130 acres out here, and as far as you look, there are just trees leaning everywhere. And we have all the dangerous ones out, and all of the trees out that were blocking things for the time being. But we've got a woods crew coming in to do a cut, a maintenance cut on the whole piece of property. And hopefully before long, it'll be nice and clean and usable out here again. Never want to doubt Mother Nature, man. She's tough. That's that old target box. Well, it wasn't old, but it was nice. Now it's a mess. And we've got a new one right here ready to take its place, thanks to Sergeant Drake. Already dropped it off. Hell yeah, Sergeant Drake. You rock, man. How cool is that? So, it's sighted in, proof shots, fired. It's amazing, it's awesome, I love it. I don't want to stop shooting. I don't have a lot more I can do here today because I've got to set everything back up again after all the destruction that we had. But since we're here, let's put around and let's see if I can learn how to record with this onto some steel downrange and see what that sounds and looks like. I hope that was recording because it flipped the whole thing backwards. That's awesome. I think I made a mistake and got it right. That's cool. So how cool is that? The Serbu BFG50 Mark II 16-inch carbine, 50 BMG, with a Bowers Verse 50 can and the Commander NV400 digital sight. I am so happy. This thing performs like a beast. Super quiet, crazy hearing safe. I mean, it's not even a little bit loud. I wasn't sure, so I wore the plugs at first. Definitely not necessary. And Detroit Ammo's 750 grain subsonic rounds. This is really cool. This lets us do something that probably not a lot of people have spent time doing in the past, and quite reasonably priced. I'm really stoked. I'm also happy that Mark Serbu liked it enough to instead of just building this as a one-off, to call it the Mark II, and he's going to start production on these. So that's pretty awesome to have the first one of those as well. And if you've been following the channel, you know I love the big bore stuff. And I also like suppressed, and if we're going to go with quiet and we're going to be stuck at subsonic levels, weight is the way to gain energy. And 750 grains is some serious weight. So this is awesome. I'm anxious to spend more time with it now, take it all apart, look at it really close, put it all back together, come out and get on the rifle range next, and try some shooting at different distances, and try saving different reticle patterns on the scope. So whatever the rangefinder tells me we're at, I can just dial in to that reticle pattern. If it says we're at 30 meters, I pick the short one for 30 meters, aim straight on. If it tells me I'm at 150 meters, pick the one for 150 meters, aim straight on. That's pretty awesome. And it's something that, again, is super reasonably priced. Way, way below where stuff like this was, you know, just 5 years ago. So this is a fun journey. I'm really tickled that you're on it with me. I hope you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this stuff moving forward. Even if you think you are, check to make sure, because I find people getting unsubscribed a little more than is comfortable to be part of a margin of error. So take a peek at that. If you like talking guns, join us over on Facebook at facebook.com/guntestvids. You can check out our merch as well from Bunker Branding. We've got some really cool shirts. They get stuff out lightning fast. And as we get busy again, we'll start adding some more products to it. And just getting busy again. That's the important part. Mother Nature's doing her best to keep everything down. I'm doing my best to keep things going. So thanks for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this peek, the world's first peek at the first Serbu BFG-50 Mark II. If you did, please click like, share us with your friends in your vast social media universe, subscribe to the channel, and till next time, have fun and be safe.